Hey, it's Keith from Outlaw Speed Shop, and this is the week that I'm doing the charity build for Kenny Danner. If you watched a few videos ago, you saw my call out to customizers. The response was amazing, to say the least. I'm getting pretty much inundated since day one between YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and emails. It's just been insane, and I can't thank everybody enough. So I decided, I know his favorite car, I think his car style was Gasser's as far as customizing, but I want to be a little bit different, and I'm not big into Gasser's as far as building them. It's just not my area, but I did want to do a 55, so I had this pretty nicely detailed 55 Chevy, or so I thought, as far as the details went. The taillights were painted in and stuff like that, plastic base, metal body. The car overall, I mean, it's just a sharp looking car. It's got a tinted window. The interior is fairly detailed, but I have these wheels, I think I got them off a Firebird. They're just regular dish hubcap, dish rims with the red line tire, smalls in the front, bigs in the back. And I just thought it would look cool, kind of tucked in there, and give it the stance that I like to have a little bit of a rake, but still on the ground at the same time. So it's a delicate balance for me. So I just pretty much pry off the wheels with a screwdriver. You can pretty much almost pop them out with your fingers too on these plastic bases. I got my K&S rod, which is stock number 501, and I'm going to make some axles because these wheels didn't have any. I don't remember what I did with them. I think I had to cut it to get them out. So it's pretty simple. I'm just going to cut them to length. Right now I'm trying to fit to see what I'm going to need for a length. And because I didn't snap the tabs, I was able to just kind of pry in or push in the axle rod, and just to kind of get a fit and see mainly if the tires were going to fit inside the body. Sometimes you have to massage the inner fender wells. These actually fit really good, and it didn't look ridiculous as far as the front wheels being too far in or whatever. So you can see I didn't cut them yet. I just kind of have them sitting there. So the car went to the stripper, and the casting was horrible. There's lines everywhere. There's a huge line right across the front. The whole roof, all the sides were just it was just horrible. I mean, I don't think I've ever, except for the Matchbox 57 with the tilt nose that I did, that one was probably just close to being as bad as this. So I spent a few hours just sanding sticks and files and sandpaper, and it was a lot of work. But it's worth it in the end, because it does, I mean, those lines are just ridiculous. There's no reason for it. So it was worth the effort, because it would have just stunk up the place. So and once I think I'm close, I'll just go over with my wire wheel and clean off any residue that was trapped in all those lines and everything else. And then I go over it again with some steel wool before I wipe it down with some lacquer thinner and get it ready for primer. And but overall, once you get all those casting lines off, this car really wasn't all that bad. It was just a lot of initial work, a little bit more than I thought. But Hot Wheels is good for loading up their paint and hiding all the flaws in their castings. So this was one of them. So I primed the interior and the body gray. Right about here, I was ready to start going 2-lane blacktop on it, but I've got another car in the background you can see there that I'm going to do that with. So after I did that, I primed it white because I want the interior white, and that fine primer is awesome. I mean, it's as good as paint. I used some Chaos Black from Citadel for the base, and I masked off the bumpers, and then I did put the white on, as you can see. So that gave me something good to work with, and I kind of hemmed and hawed about a color. I wanted to go pink. There's my Tamiya masking tape, which works awesome. If you guys have been with me for a while, you know I had some painting issues with masking stuff off and it peeling the paint. This stuff's amazing. I haven't had a problem since. So, but anyways, I decided to just go classic 55 Chevy, red and white. I just think it has a nice look. I just like the way it looks. On the interior, I masked off the rear package tray and the dash, because the dash was metal and it would normally be the same color as the car. So stuff goes on really well. I'm learning to have a lighter hand and put some really light coats on, let it tack up a little bit, and then go back over it. And I have the flexibility to go as heavy or as light as I want. At that point, I used to start off just full-blown, load the shit on there like it was going out of style and nothing but problems. So I've gotten better. Still got a long way to go. What sucks, I like painting the most, and it's probably my biggest obstacle as customs go, I guess you could say. So anyways, I put that on, and even though it was a brand new car, essentially, I mean, I got it loose, but windshield was in good shape, but you can always make them better. So I got some of my Pledge Future Shine. I'm going to dip it in there, and then wick off the excess just on the corner so it doesn't bubble up. And you got to cover this because it takes forever to dry, and you get little dingleberries that float in, land on it, and it'll make it look like crap. Detailing wise, again, if you watch any of my videos, I use Citadel Paints for 90% of what I do. I do mix it up on occasion. But I get this Troll Slayer orange, which is just like the perfect, it's like Chevy orange, so it works out perfect. So I'm going to detail the oil pan on the, I'm going to call it a 283. I'm going to go vintage on this. And then I'm going to use the lead belcher, which is more of an aluminum look, on all my exhaust pipes. And these exhaust pipes are actually detailed. If you really look at it, once it was painted and you got the chrome off, they actually wrap underneath the axles like they're supposed to. And so it was fun to detail the underneath on this. You can really get some good stuff in it. You can see right there. I don't know if you can see how it goes over the rear axle. And then I'm going to clear coat it with some matte clear. And what that does is it seals the stuff I already painted, but it also dulls the chrome down just a tad because it's just like obscenely chrome and shiny. So here I am switching it up. I'm using some Testors red paint because it was a lot closer to the wicked colors that I used on the package shelf and the dashboard. So, and then afterwards I realized that the whole dash swung out of the way, so probably would have been easier to do that initially. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. I'm just going to do the chrome spokes, the aluminum spokes in the middle of the steering wheel, and eventually I'm going to go back and it's going to be a red and white steering wheel. I don't know if I show that or not, but it's hard to really show a lot of the details when you're doing some fine painting. Either your camera won't stay in focus, or you can't help but have your hands in the way, or your camera's in the way and you can't see it. So you can kind of see right there, I did the red and white on the steering wheel. I did the clock that's on the passenger side. And little things like that. There was a lot of details on this that was hard to get at, so I just couldn't film all of it. Now I'm just going to take some of the black wash and do the grill just to add a little bit of depth to it. For the most part, this stuff works awesome. I don't really have any issues with it. If it goes on too heavy, you can always just use your brush to sop it up, almost like a mop, and then just kind of wipe it on a paper towel and go back and wipe some more off. I spent a couple hours just doing details on this. With the casting lines not being as good as they should have been, or as good as they look, because most of them were painted on, it was kind of a pain in the neck. The headlights and taillights and the marker lights, I put the lead belcher on as an aluminum or a silver base, and then I went back over with the colors that I wanted to, white and orange and red and white on the back, just to kind of highlight it. I did a lot of masking off. I used a Sharpie, silver Sharpie, for all the side trim. It was just easier. I could actually mask it. And it's funny because I'm fairly steady-handed, and as soon as I put the camera on or I try to paint something really small, I look like I'm on, I'm just got off of doing a hit a crack. I'm all over the place. I don't understand, but that's neither here nor there. I find by masking it helps. Then really all that's left is clear coating. This was a fun project. It's for a good cause. Shout out to my Patreon members: Chris Smith, Joey Williams, Kristen Stanaland, Stephen Mance, William Robinson, Devil's Details Diecast, Matchbox Garage, Alvarez's Diecast Customs, and Jim Silva in the one-time pledges. Chris Stanifer. Thank you guys very much. Those with the YouTube links are in the links in the description below. Make sure you check them out. I just love the stance on this car. It just came out so good. I'm so happy with it. Really all that's left is assembly. The clear coat, I put it on nice and heavy. I'm going to be shipping this off to Stuart Jones. I'll have the link to the GoFundMe page and his auctions. The auctions start this coming Wednesday, September 11th, and they're going to go for 10 days. I'm running late. I thought it was a different date, so mine will probably be starting up next Saturday, just because of shipping. So I apologize for that. And the cool thing about this is I get to meet somebody local. His name is on YouTube is Weapon X-Wing. He's right here in town, and he messaged me. Come to find out, we are in the same town, so I went and picked up a car that I'm going to be sending to Stuart as well. The pink Rat Fink one in the back. And I'm also going to be sending my Stutz Blackhawk along for the auction as well, so make sure you guys check them out. Check out the pictures, the video. Once again, as always, thank you very much, and I'll catch you on the next one.